Okay, so this video is the second video, and it's going to be on preparing your images for your portfolio. What I've done is I've downloaded a number of images from my iPhone onto my computer. These are the images here, and they're raw. I just brought them into my computer, and I want you to notice the file size of these images: 2.1, 2.7, 1.6, 2 megabytes. But if I open one up or if I open them up in Photoshop, um, what's going to happen is I will see that, here it is. If I go to image and image size, I see that the image is actually 34.9 megabytes in size. It's also 56 inches by 42 inches. Now this is huge, and it's really too big of a file to work in an interactive portfolio because the entire file would be like really, really huge, and you don't want to make them huge. There's no need for them to be that big. So what we want to do is we want to change the width and the height, and we want to do it proportionately. So I'm going to, and you'll notice that there's a little link here so if I change this number, the second number, the height is going to change. So I'm going to change the width to 9 inches to 675 and leave it at 72 dpi. And I'm going to tell it OK. And from here, since I've scaled it down, I'm going to go back to image and image size. And see, it went from 34 megs to 922 kilobytes, which is very, very manageable and works really well for this portfolio that we're going to do. So I'm going to tell it OK. And then what I want to do is I want to do a file and save as and save it on my computer. And I actually want to save it in a second folder, and so I don't get them mixed up. And I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop. And let me go down here. So here's the high images folder. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it low res images for portfolio, FLIO. And I'm going to put all of the high res images, I'm going to rescale them into low res images, and I'm going to put them in this folder here. Now, I have to do that with every single one of these images that I have on my high res files. And it'd be nice if I had a lot of files, it'd be nice if I could do this all in one sweeping move. And I actually can do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do that in what's called an action script. So I'm going to go back to my original photograph, and I am going to revert it. So I'm going to go back to where I was before because I'm going to repeat these actions again. And I'm going to show you how to do one action and then repeat it for all the other images, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Window and select Actions, and it's going to bring up an action palette. And so I'm going to go to this little icon here in the corner, and I'm going to do a new action. And so this action I'm going to call Reduce Image Size. And then I have a little record button here. And when I do whatever action I do now in this field, it will repeat itself. It'll record it, and I'll be able to do that action on other photos. So let's go. I'll show you what I mean by that. So the first action I'm going to do is I'm going to go to wait a minute. Okay, so I got to record it first. Record. And you see the little record button is on. So now I'm going to record. And I'm going to go to Image, and I'm going to change the size of this to 9 inches by 675. Leave the resolution alone. Tell it OK. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go to File, Save As, and save on my computer. And remember, we want to save it in that new folder that we created, Low Res Portfolio. So I'm going to open that folder up, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG file. I'm not going to change the name. I'm going to leave the name alone, and I'm going to save, and that'll be OK, and tell it OK. And then I'm going to close the file. And then what I can do is, where's my action script? and stop recording. And so let's see if that will work for the next files. So I'm going to go to my high-res images. I'm going to select the rest of them, and I'm going to open them all up in Photoshop. Actually, I'm going to do one at a time just to make sure the action script is working. So go open it up in Photoshop. And here it is. And if I click on this and do play, done. Let's see if we could do it in batches. I'm going to select all of these and bring them all to Photoshop and open them all up. And they're opening, and play, 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 play. And let's look at our and look at all of that. And look at the size of the files. Immediately follow the action script. Look at how big my files are now, and I have a whole new second set. And that's how to batch your images. End video.